Butterbean survives the Arca Daytona Wreckfest as Cletus McFarland arrives on the NASCAR scene in grand fashion. Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. Hope y'all are doing well. What a weekend it is as Daytona Speed Weeks is here. We've got the Daytona 500 tomorrow, folks. The Great American Race is here. As always, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm always talking NASCAR on a daily basis here at Breaking Bob. I've got coverage from the Truck Series race last night. I was a little rattled. I did a video, and then I found out Parker Kligerman got DQ'd. So that, if you haven't found that out, congratulations. Parker Kligerman did not win the race last night after all. Hopefully that's not the case with the Arca race today, because the story is going to be great if that's the winner. Brendan Queen, better known as Butterbean, mostly from short track fame, the former Cars Tour champion, wins the Ride the Dente 200 at Chili's. I know that commercial is going to be fun to watch all season long, but congratulations to Butterbean as he officially arrives onto the NASCAR scene in grand fashion. I know he had a few Truck Series starts, including a 4th place finish at North Wilkesboro last year, but winning at Daytona, even at the Arca Menard Series, even in the Wreckfest that it was today, is a massive accomplishment for any driver. He's in great equipment too in that Pinnacle Racing Group number 28, of course, made famous by Connor Zilisch last year. That was basically an all-star car with great speed at every track they showed up, and so he had great equipment, but still the fact that he was able to lead the last 7 laps en route to that win at Daytona as he goes Arca full-time in 2025, that's huge for Butterbean as he becomes now a force in the NASCAR scene, not just the short track scene in the Southeast. And he really did survive. He was one of, I think the broadcast said, only 4 cars that were not caught up in any incidents as he brought home that 28 to victory lane genuinely unscathed. Every other car it looked like was beaten and banging. I mean, you could probably say Helio Castroneves is still crashing on the backstretch right now. He was involved in, I think, 4 or 5 incidents. There was just multiple, so many Arca moments, it felt like today, and in a race where there were so many eyeballs, a lot of excitement for it, with a stacked field. And early on in the race, you had, I think it was a 15-car pileup there. We took out a lot of good cars, and you know, I guess that's what you kind of come to expect, especially with this weekend. There was not a lot of on-track action for those drivers. There was not a lot of opportunity to get lap time, especially in drafting scenarios. And you saw drivers, when it got into that pack racing, they struggled mightily early on. But one driver that didn't seem to struggle, he just seemed to pick it up as he went with it, was Cletus McFarland, who ended up stealing the show today. You could rename it the Ride the Dente 200 to the Cletus 200, and it probably would have been fitting there. NASCAR set up his in-car camera and live streamed it to YouTube to over 50,000 viewers at a given time during the race. And the cool thing was McFarland leaned into it, even during red flags, during cautions. He would be yelling, talking to the camera, talking to the viewers. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a YouTuber. He's a social media guy. He gets it. And he had a full 19 laps before his day was ended. He avoided a big wreck, which you could hear him on the broadcast. Woo! Giving a good, just an old school mentality vibe there. A good old boy mentality there. Then he got spun out a few laps later. Saved it though. No damage to the car. Put on new tires. Was back out there good as new. Ultimately got collected a few laps later by Amber Balkan, who had just lost control of her Toyota and just collected McFarland, who he said he just didn't have enough brakes to avoid the wreck there. Gave an incredible interview to Fox, and you thought, oh man, well that's it for Cletus today. There, you're going to lose a lot of viewers that were tuning in just for him with his massive social media following. But nope, the last 20 laps, Fox brought him up there, cut off shirt and all, and he commentated the rest of the race in the booth up there. At the end of the day, credit NASCAR for leaning into Cletus McFarland. He could have been just another storyline in today's Arca race with Garrett Mitchell as the driver, but instead they put his live stream up on YouTube. They leaned into him on the broadcast and even had him come up once they realized how good of an interview he was. McFarland even hinted after the race that he could return as early as Talladega if they get that car fixed up in time for him. I think this is a win-win for all sides. McFarland genuinely loves racing, and especially the grassroots style with his Freedom Factory down in Florida. Plus, NASCAR needs these younger, more energized viewers that are just loving these roots that are more old school than anything. And I think McFarland is an ode to that. So I don't say NASCAR necessarily needs Cletus McFarland. they really should use him any way they can and partner with him with his big social media following, because I guarantee you today's Arca race had a lot more people paying attention than normal just because of the stars like Elio Castroneves and Cletus McFarland. We've got the Xfinity race here in a few hours. As always, stay tuned for coverage at Breaking Bob. Like this video if you liked what you saw. Subscribe to the channel for more content here at Breaking Bob on a daily basis. I'll see y'all here in a few hours after the Xfinity race. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.